Barakatayhawa, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is the N.W.O, the creation of America. N.W.O stands for New World Order, which is the agenda of the so-called elite, the international banking families of the world. And they pretty much used America as a catapult for bringing in the so-called New World Order. Now, when you go back to the so-called independence of America, when they broke away from England, supposedly July 4th, 1776, right? That is a date or a year that they have posted on the back of the dollar bill, the American dollar bill. Now, most people think that that symbolizes the independence of America from Great Britain, but it doesn't. What it symbolizes is the creation of the Bavarian faction of the Illuminati. Years ago, people used to speak about the Illuminati. People used to look at it like you were crazy. Then at one point, it was like a household name. And now, pretty much, it's something that's ridiculed at, laughed at, scorned. But this is exactly what they do, because when you examine the word Illuminati, it means enlightened ones. Another name for them is Luciferians. See, people look at the word Lucifer as I guess for lack of better words, a notorious word. Like a bad, it gets a bad connotation because they try to equate it to the spiritual demon Satan. But the word Lucifer itself simply means enlightened ones. Old day star, morning star. That's all it means. It doesn't mean anything else but that. Now, you could use it for righteous reasons, or you could use it for nefarious reasons. Now, I was watching the brother from GMS Italia. I love watching that brother's videos. He just has a way of, his method of teaching. I dig it. So I was watching this video that he just did about, hating the whore, and something he said. I don't remember exactly what it was that he said, but it triggered this thought in my mind of the N.W.O, the so-called New World Order. Now, the thought that came into mind was, what other country do you know that has really set this up as a standard for their country as far as the N.W.O, the so-called New World Order? And the answer to that is none of them. Now, the idea came from Bavaria, Germany, which actually came under Inigo Lopez, the original name of, I'm trying to remember his other name. I can't think of his other name right now, but his original name is Inigo Lopez, and he was the first one that started what was known as the Jesuit order in the 1500s. All right? And the Jesuit order had something called the Alumbrados. Alumbrados is the Spanish way of saying Illuminati, or enlightened ones. There's all kind of schools and churches and stuff named after this individual. Like I said, I can't think of his name right now, but his original name is Inigo Lopez. All right, and when you look at the back of a dollar bill, what you see there is the seal. And within that circle, you see the pyramid with the all-seeing eye, which represents the eye of Lucifer, which is not really Satan himself, but it's dealing with the so-called Illuminati. That's why the capstone is separate from the rest of the building, and it's illuminated. Now, above that, you have Latin writing, which is Latin writing doing on an American dollar bill. It says Annuit Coeptes. Some people pronounce it differently. That's how I pronounce it. Which means announcing the birth of or our enterprise has been crowned with success. And what is that enterprise? Well, it's written on the bottom of it, on the banner, which says Novus Ordo Seclorum. Novus, new, order, seclorum, age or world, new world order. Now you can't really see it that well, but when you look at the bottom of the pyramid, you have Latin writing, which is the letters that make up the year 1776. And that 1776 goes back to the so-called Illuminati. All right? And that 1776 goes back to May 1st, 1776, which is the origins and the birth of the so-called New World Order from the Bavarian faction of the Illuminati, which really was the birth of that faction, you know, in that time. And they have pushed it all the way up until now. You know, so they've been pushing that in America. They use America as the catapult or the catalyst for this whole world order, government, monetary system, religious system that you see happening around the world. Why? Because America would be the future place of what the scriptures call Babylon the Great. Now, when we examine the book of Job 5 and 12, it says, He, meaning the Most High, disappointeth the devices of the crafty. Who are the crafty? These Edomites, but not just the Edomites, which the Edomites, that's the name of the original biblical name of the so-called white people that come from Esau. Not the ones that don't come from Esau, because you have white-looking people that are Israelites that come from our people. You have so-called white-looking people that are other nations. The ones that go back to Esau, those are the so-called white people we're talking about. The Edomites, they are the crafty. Why are they the crafty? Because they are also the serpent in the garden, which was the actual man. You know, and that serpent, which was the actual man, which are the sons of the wicked, came to take root in the earth under a man by the name of Cain, who was the seed or the father of the wicked. After the flood, they were destroyed, or during the flood, they were destroyed. And after the flood, when the earth was repopulated again, they came back on earth, the sons of the wicked, through a man or a child by the name of Esau. His name was later changed to Edom. The word Esau means wasted away is he, Aishashwa. And the word Edom means red, from the Hebrew word Adawam, red. Totally different from Adam, Adama, ground. Adawam, Adama. Two different Hebrew words. All right? Now, the serpent, which was the actual man, he was made more subtle than any beast of the field. Subtle means someone that's very slick, cunning, knows how to maneuver. And through that subtlety, through that craftiness, they've been able to pull the veil over the world's eyes, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And they've been able to push their agenda through the secrecy up until this point. Now that their agenda, or should I say, now that they are in positions of power, authority, positions to make decisions, create money, they don't care about secrecy anymore. It's out in the open, because they're pushing their agenda openly, because eventually they're going to introduce this whole system and who they worship outwardly. It's not going to be a secret anymore. And this is the vision that they have for the future. This is why they have the so-called N.W.O. So he says, He, the Most High, disappointed the devices of the crafty, because the Most High is going to bring a stop to this so-called N.W.O., to this so-called agenda. so that his hands can perform their enterprise. Now, what is their enterprise? The whole shebang. All right. Now, I'm going to look up that word enterprise in the Bible dictionary. But before I do that, let me pull it up on this offline dictionary I have, when it allows me to this thing is acting funny, but let's roll. Enterprise. A purposeful or industrious undertaking, especially one that requires effort or boldness. And that's what they're doing. It's an enterprise. It says an organization created for business ventures. And now you understand why Maya Angelou Power said, give me control of the nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws. Why? Because control of the money means you control everything and everyone around. This is why these large corporations, like BlackRock, I believe another one, Vanguard, if I'm not mistaken, and others, control and have stock in every business aspect, everything that goes down around the world. Because these Amalekites have control of the whole planet, and they're pushing their agenda forward. So when we look up the word enterprise in the concordance, it goes back to the Hebrew word thashayah or thawashayah. It means wisdom, sound knowledge, success, sound or efficient wisdom, abiding success, which is what? An enterprise. Their undertaking. This is why N.W.O also means our undertaking has been crowned with success. Sound or efficient wisdom. Abiding success of the effect of sound wisdom. And that's pretty much it. It says working. And that's pretty much undertaking. That's what they've done. They've set up this program and this vision to gain control of the whole world, to make everyone bow down to their will. This is why everything now is going online, so that everyone will have to take the C-hip in order to maneuver in their world, so to speak, because they want to be the Most High. But the Lord said he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Meaning when they sat down to create these things and they pushing it forward, he's going to cast them headlong. He's going to throw a monkey wrench in their agenda, because they've been planning this thing for the longest. They've been pushing it forward. They've been having meeting after 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 meeting to find out what's the best way to do this. All right, so let's create this. Let's create that. Let's create this. Let's try this out. Try, through a trial run. Let's take it to Panama, or let's take it to Iran, or let's take it to Australia, or let's take it to, South America, or wherever, to try to push that agenda and see what the effect of that is among the people. And once they did that for a long period of time in different regions, now they did the ultimate, which was a world test through the C-19er that they pushed around the world. Now that they did that, now they're moving along for the now they're going for the gusto. All right, and Isaiah 47 and 13 it says, "Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels." So before I read more, I want to look up that word weary in the book of Isaiah 47. Just bear with me 1 second. Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 13. The word weary is the word la'ah, la'ah, to be weary, be impatient, see, be grieved, be offended, right? So they're weary because when you're weary, something weighs on you constantly to the point where you can't rest until that thing is accomplished or done, so it could be off of your mind. It's like a splinter in the mind. So they're wearied in the multitude of their counsels because they're pushing this forward to get this thing off the ground once and for all. To be tired of something, weary oneself, all right, exhaust. So they're exhausted through these counsels and they're ready for it. This is why the whole infrastructure of the world is set up in their favor now. So it says, let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Because they've done this whole situation through what? Through left-hand energy, which is witchcraft. Through their warlocks, through their so-called wise men, you know, through their modern-day magicians, pushing this thing forward. They're scientists. It's a whole network of these devils working together to push this out. There's a network of other nations working to push this thing out. There's even a network of Israelites helping to push this agenda forward. But it's all going to fail because the Lord Yahweh B'Shem El Shai has a mission and he has his new order, so to speak, to establish, which is Yahweh B'Shem El Shai's kingdom / Yasha Allah's kingdom. And that kingdom is going to be set up and established in righteousness. When we go to the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, because these devils are looking to establish the world under a wicked rulership, which they call a dystopia. The word D-Y-S, means bad. And the word topia means place. Dystopia, bad place. Because it's bad for the rest, good for them. When the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. But when the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. So the Lord is going to flip the script on them and allow his kingdom to be established on earth. This is why it says in 2 Peter 3:13, nevertheless we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's what we're looking for. The righteousness to rule on the planet earth. Because if this world was to be able to continue on, there would no flesh be left to be saved. Because this devil, everything he puts his hands on, he destroys. He is not a healer. He is not a righteous man. He is not a moral man. He is a destroyer. His soul in him is not upright. It's lifted up in him, but it's not upright. And this is why they've moved forward in the direction that they have. Taking the Most High and moving them out of the way. Trying to establish their own righteousness, which is wickedness on the left-hand side. Pushing the world into that direction. You know? Giving money to these clowns, these clown-ass rappers, to push the agenda of perversion. to just throw everything off kilter. I mean, destroying the food system, destroying toiletry, whatever you get, whether it's perfume, cologne, soap, whatever, clothing, everything is manufactured in a way to secrete poisons into our systems to destroy us pretty much. But thank be to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that has a hedge around us of protection. So the Lord is going to destroy this devil. Because the N.W.O, or the New World Order, is a creation of America. And they use America to push that out. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom. Pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. I just wanted to say a few words on that. And just look in the back of your dollar bill. If you can't see it that well here, just look in the back of your dollar bill. And you'll see it. N.W.O Coeptes, Novus Ordo Seclorum, 1776. The other side, you have the eagle. You have E pluribus unum in the two ribbons. And the E pluribus unum is a representation of out of many one. And that's what? The motto of the New World Order. Even that devil Obama said that. We are not a nation of, I forget what he said, so, but we are a nation of E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. And they'll do that because the average person has no clue of what the hell is going on. So with that, I say Shalom.